Thank you for joining us on WRTV News at 6 on this Tuesday evening. I'm Amanda Starrentino.
And I'm Mark Mullins. First at 6 tonight.
Let's treat this pandemic that we're in, let's treat the homicides the same way. This is a public emergency.
The Indianapolis Metropolitan Police Department and the mayor are sharing what their plans are to reduce violence in 2021. This comes after a record-breaking number of homicides in 2020. WRTV's Stephanie Wade spoke directly with city leaders, holding them accountable, and has the response from community leaders fighting an uphill battle to curb the violence every day.
In 2020, the United States saw the largest one-year increase in homicides in modern history.
We have not been immune from the troubling trend that has impacted cities across the United States.
And while overall crime has continued to fall, criminal homicide skyrocketed.
In Indianapolis, criminal homicides increased by nearly 40% from 2019. Mayor Joe Hogsett cites COVID-19 as a contributing factor.
It has put mental, emotional, economic strain on residents across our city.
We're seeing the need for money as a lot of what we're seeing through the drug trade.
Metro Police say they ramped up staffing, local, state, and federal partnerships, doubled down on community-based beat policing, increased foot and bike patrols, added 16 businesses to IMPD's B-Link program, which added 45 street-level cameras to IMPD's network, deployed over 1,000 body-worn cameras to their officers, and implemented violence interrupters, people tasked with minimizing cyclical and retaliation violence. But despite all of this, Chief Randall Taylor says a lot of their efforts were disrupted by COVID-19.
To end at 245 homicides, it's heartbreaking. It's gut-wrenching.
Aaron Williams, who works with two community grassroots organizations focused on rooting out crime, says COVID-19 has been devastating for all, but it is no justification for the amount of violence we saw last year.
What we saw was a lack of leadership, and we saw the opportunity that the city took on to say, hey, here's an excuse that we can use, let's lean on that. And I don't think that it's right, and I don't think that it's fair for all the families that lost loved ones.
The mayor says the city is funding community-based violence prevention tactics at a historic level. Priorities for 2021 include better accountability with the use of force review board containing a majority citizen involvement, and reigniting relationships with community groups to repair and build new bridges of trust between law enforcement and neighborhoods.
We met with the mayor over half a dozen times last year, personally in his office, very highly confidential conversations of really trying to work with him and his administration on things that could be done, and we never moved the needle forward.
He says groups need to work together and get support from the mayor's office, encouraging city leaders for greater collaboration.
Get out in the streets and talk to the individuals who are out there doing the work and commit. Make a commitment this month that the next 11 months will be different and safer than what we saw in 2020.
Stephanie Wade, WRTV.
Well, IMPD says about 60 to 70% of Indy's non-fatal shooting victims were uncooperative last year, either giving law enforcement false information or not speaking at all. City leaders encourage the community to come forward with information to help solve these cases.